doing the right thing. And then this is the choice in Equa Television International. And I still have Joyce Jakada and then the election generally, matter of INEC. And in this particular set, we received so many calls, people complaining about beavers, people complaining about the issue of the voting in some areas. And we hear some more men continue, voting even the next day, and then agreeing, to allow some polling units that, because of delay and the rest, to even start fresh the next day. People commend them. But now the result have started coming, people are not seeing the result tallying, maybe from their polling unit, and because of the anxiety supposed to be hearing as excuse from INEC. This is the number. This question that many Nigerians are asking. Are they knowing the polling units now? Network and the rest, you know that you are going digital and you know the capacity using power. What is the arrangement? All of these things, and we are not supposed to fail it. And that's why you will hear some people are saying INEC should just come out clearly and then talk to us about these things. And then somebody is saying the Mr. President should come out and say his hands are, and you sign. And then you link that to INEC, which the Electoral Act picture, which people will see like, okay, is it that they are working hand in hand? Or that's just what is going on out there. So it is very difficult for Nigerians to even believe this together. Definitely it will not give a clean picture to Nigerians.
I think you will not wholly blame the electorate and Nigeria. Because if you look at the history of electoral regime in Nigeria, from First Republic till date, they only varied as in comparative analysis. From 90s, the power that be dictates. Even within the party, if you are not subservient, they rule you out. Either as party chairman, 2019 election, and this, we've not had it thus far, other than what we're seeing. In terms of planning, in terms of deployment, in terms of staffing, in terms of ad hoc recruitment. And in the same polling booth, you cannot upload that of the president. It's illogical. So, and I think that is why people have every reason to begin to challenge INEC. Because this election took place in the same polling booth, and results were uploaded in the same polling booth. So what makes that of the president difficult is the logic. And secondly, somebody have also saw something in terms of even using Barua. Let everything be fully technological, like I said. As you are accredited, you are voting, the vote is already counting. There will be agent in one room and INEC in one room. And as you are voting, at a given time that you round up in the polling unit, you have it. But let me also say this, that you extended time of voting is not the generosity of INEC. In the first place, who created that problem? And let me tell you that, but for the vigilance of the people, some of the INEC apps, people have to force them to reopen it. We did selection, the mandate is not protected. We told them, hold the INEC office, you don't beat them, hold them ransom and tell them that until those on the line finish their vote, because that's the rule. You can't go anywhere. So the issue of extension is not the generosity of anybody, it's the vigilance of the people. Because in some places they had their way. And in some places where the BR has problem, they promise there will be a technical backup, experts going around to fix it. In many places they were nowhere to be found. So these are the issue. And therefore to be credible. And why people are linking the president to INEC is because the process of also enlisting the INEC chairman and the commissioner is not people-centered, it's not people-driven. And the president cannot excuse himself. Because we also have characters that were known to be party member, card carry member, close to APC, that were recommended by the president against all odds. So if you are bringing people on board, go with equity. get competent people that have room to begin to challenge the integrity of the INEC chairman. Because they were alleging at a point that the code of conduct, the oath he took, he violated it, he didn't tell them the number of houses, and on that basis, they were going to pick him up. So what are we saying in essence? These are the rooms that give room for a lot. And when the president or the attorney general violate the electoral act by showing whom you voted for, it creates room for this that, okay, you are saying it's your party. But one thing we must not take away from the president is that he said it at a point after the security meeting, that on this election he's not going to listen to anybody. He's going to listen to only INEC. And that is why the election holds. Otherwise, some people will have brought out fake security reports, so that at the end of the day, they can make more money. So I think much as we criticize what the president did that wasn't wrong, where he also does what is good, we should commend him so that other presidents can learn. And consistency is also very good. One of the first presidents that we said do handover. So we must note this so that incoming president will learn the rope and improve on what he has done. But beyond all this, the president will have done better if he allowed the primaries not to go on catch and carry. We will have had more credible candidates on the ballot, and the campaign will have been issue-based.
All right, let's speak with Jeremiah from Kwara State. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you, man?
Fine, thank you. And you?
Please go on.
Afternoon. I said I heard that the INEC chairman will be giving an announcement of the presidential election by 11.
Announcement of presidential election. Collation continues.
So, an 11 has passed, we have never heard anything.
Okay. Just keep watching this choice. Okay, Mr. Jeremiah, keep watching the choice as information on Veils will bring it to you. Just to draw your attention to the Coalition Center in Abuja, because a lot of people, expectations are high. Recall yesterday, the INEC chairman announced that at noon, that from 6 p.m. coalition will start from scopes from different states, and people are just waiting a calculation calculator. And for those that have taken coalitions were really high, and at 6 p.m. The coalition started with Ekiti State, and INEC actually received the result from the scope. And just after Ekiti State, tradition is still coalition center. Some governors. So I just want to bring some people already. The spirit is low. His ballot paper who he voted for. Even the AGF. We saw the. Good afternoon. We have a caller. Good afternoon. Okay, do well to call us back. So the likes of Senator Uzo Kalu too, we saw this. It says that there's already even punishment attached to going against it, to this law, and is going against it. So how confident will I be in expressing sadness about the result? More like it's not a reflection. I would like to get your take from that. But before then, let's pick this call. Good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Go on.
Yeah. I am calling from Kapuna. My name is Benjamin.
Okay, Benjamin.
Yeah, I want to succeed and talk to ask the INEC chairman that they should try as much as possible to do the needful in order not to bring violence or to create violence to the people of Nigeria. God bless Nigeria.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much. National interest is actually the watchword. So you like to respond to these results that are coming and the mixed reactions from people?
I think first and foremost is to say that I totally agree that the president, the Attorney General, Otom, and Uzo, and other people that follow this act of showing that they should be sanctioned. And they should follow the provisions of the Electoral Act. If they need to be jailed, let there be a ruling. If they need to pay fine, let them pay fine, so that it will serve a deterrent to other people. And then secondly, to also say that we must also ask INEC to do the needful. These people have violated your Electoral Act. We expected by now we should hear credible statement from INEC Mr. President, you violated the act or this and that, so that we serve as deterrent before the gubernatorial election. And having self-election is not just a happy new beginning, it's happy it used to be. What we used to have it in 1999 till 2015, even till this 2023, is always top bottom. You know those analogy, top bottom, or don't give me rice and beans and the rest of it. The beautiful thing about this election is that we've seen where Labour present credible candidate to the people, they carry the day. Where the PDP does, they carry the day. Where the APC does, they carry the day. So you can see the result coming from the senatorial election to House of Rep election that is given a rainbow color. That at the end of the day, everybody will need to sit down and agree who will be the Senate President or House of Rep, and then by implication, the agenda that will determine how progressive the National Assembly will be. So I want to see that carried into the State Assembly. And then by the result, we've also seen that the mighty have also fallen. People are losing even their polling booth to opposition candidates. So it's a welcome development, and I think we should commend Nigeria for being that patriotic. It's not everybody that thinks just the religious way or that primordial sentiment. Deliberately, we've seen a sizable Nigeria electorate looking at the issue of competence, the issue of character, the issue of capability, and the issue of the diversity of this country, how inclusive it is, how is the concept of equity, fairness, and justice. And we've seen it across all the religions. Even within the Muslim cleric, people have also come out openly, challenging what some people have asked them to do, that this is not part of the 10X. And this is the first time we're beginning to see that, even though we also see some of them adopting candidates that ordinarily they shouldn't have done. Even within two Muslim candidates, some of them saying, I've asked you to step down. So gradually we are going to defeat those type of mentality. So I see unity in diversity coming up, and that is why INEC must not set the nest on fire. The earlier they fix their machine, the better. Because INEC also do not know that what they are doing could create problem. That the electoral process can be conclusive as it is, and somebody go against it on technical ground and have his way. Because the Electoral Act provided that this, and before now you have told us you are going to upload the result, pay some at the polling booth and the rest of it. And we are not seeing in some places. Some people can deliberately go to the tribunal to challenge the result as it is. You know what, you take INEC to wriggle itself out of the what do they call that one last year?
All right, let's speak with Godwin from Lagos. Mr. Godwin, good afternoon and welcome to the show. Godwin.
My brother, it's a big lie. There was no security at the polls. The one policewoman without arms, end up living in their shadow, past shadows, please. This election, the outcome of this election is not supposed to come up. It's a very effort to be stupid all the while. Why are they doing manual counting? This is what we have to ask. This is the question we have to ask. We have to count our tongue with our teeth with our tongue. This election is not acceptable. Nigerians should not accept the outcome of this election. Not take anything for us to take a day for each state. And so that there will be security. At the moment the election ends, the voting ends, they should count it for the masses to see their results. What is going on? What is going on? Why do they want to select somebody and put the person here? At the expense of Nigerians are not happy with what is going on. The youth are not happy with what is going on. The election has to be cancelled and reorganized again.
Thanks, remain calm. Let's watch our words. Let's avoid all this national interest, peace, and all of that. You heard him. Like I said, there are mixed reactions already from the outputs.
Yes, absolutely. It is expected, and but everybody should know that you have the right, you also have responsibility, and your process. He raised a very fundamental issue that they have one woman that was not a policewoman. Put the soldier, put everybody, and that's why eternal vigilance is key. And that is why mobilization mandate protection is key. You should be able to set up a machinery that will also, community safety is very important. Because some of us, like I said, God forbid, if one of them just get overzealous and enter a radio station and people buy into it, the whole process will come to a standstill. The economy of this country, because we want to vote. And that is why we must insist on the independence of INEC and allow the process to be technologically to kill the INEC chairman. Because as the results are crippling in, you are seeing it yourself. Even before the end of the election, before the collation, people have announced the result. People will concede defeat. We've seen it in Ghana. So if it's possible in this country, why is it not possible in Nigeria? And I think after this election, we must take INEC to task. What happened to your data recovery process? Who did you contracted the behalf to? How come the battery did not last? You told us you did configuration. What's wrong?
Well, we have a caller. Good afternoon and welcome to the show.
But I'm watching them now. I'm not.
Hello, good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Titi, calling from Rivers State.
How is Rivers this afternoon?
I want to appreciate your.
Thank you.
People have been saying we should be patient. Right from on Saturday till now, we have been patient, waiting for them to give us results. Many of us block our businesses just to make sure we be part and parcel of this election. Because we are tired of what 11 they will give us results. Till now, we have not seen results. And we don't know what is. If eyes are open, their eyes are everywhere, watching them. So they should do something that will bring peace and unity. Not something that will bring problems. Understand? Because this particular election, I believe the finger of God is inside here. So anybody that wants to manipulate this thing is not going to work. At least for once, it should be realistic. So that we will move forward. Thank you.
Thank you
for
very
calling.
much. Like our time is actually fast spent for this particular segment. As you respond, I would also like you to, like you have observed and you've heard from the callers, what are your expectations?
I think number one, just like the last caller and many other callers says, predictability and precision is part of the integrity of an electoral body. That you say election we hold, and this is the prescription we are going to follow is very important. And internationally, it is expected after 48 hours, the results is out. And if for any reason the result is not going to be out, be open to the people and let the people know so that they know the process. So putting all this together, where there's no prescription or all sort of bullying, that if care is not taken in some country, it has led to post-electoral violence. So we don't pray for it. My advice to Nigeria is that we've had patience for 8 years. These few days shouldn't be too much. Realizing that some states, like Bayelsa, they still have to vote as of yesterday. And why I will not also subscribe to holding election in 36 states and federal capital on different days. We cannot lock up a few hours and the result is out. India have done it. Their population voting is more than all, and they use the same beavers. It is the integrity of the electoral umpire that we must bring to bear. So we cannot lock up the system for 37 days, mobilize and engage constructively. So I think we should be able to do that, even after the result is out, credibly organize ourselves and make sure that we follow ourselves dutifully and as civic citizens of this country with responsibility. And like I was saying the other time, before that caller comes in, my joy is that all the parties involved have their legal directorate, and they've asked people to send in the fact as they are. So I'm happy that the man that read the press statement from Labour, he should know the history of Peter Obi. Twice he went to court, and twice he got his mandate. So this is the time for people to get the fact right and send it to appropriate quarters. Even recently, in which country is that? Is it in Kenya? They went to the court, and the court verdict came out clear. So let's not take to violence. Let's not take to fighting. Nobody's vote or mandate is worth anybody's blood. Let's not buy into what some people have started. On Saturday, you cannot vote if you are not from my party or go to your land. This land belongs to everybody. And I love what he said. God's hands is in this election. If not, how come they passed the Electoral Act they never read? If they have read that Electoral Act, even the minimum gain we have now, we won't be having it. And that's why many of the mighties are falling. And then you move in, and the election held. How come suddenly the president and his grandchildren are not speaking the same language? These are signs that God is involved in this election. And how come people or party that people claim doesn't have structure and are reaping in a lot of vote in this election? So that's to tell you that the structure that we need to survive in this country and to move forward is the people. So if we have the people doing the right thing in the fear of God, in righteousness and holiness, we'll get it right. In fact, one thing that makes me to believe that God have never forgotten Nigeria is the signing of that Electoral Act. And this election holding against all odds. There's no much bloodletting. In fact, what we are complaining today by security report of what we have is a miniature. But we are saying that we don't even want it at all. I said it earlier on. Where in Nigeria have you heard that we have to close institution because we want to do election? That's to tell you the height of the security intelligence they have. But all said and done, we have voted peacefully. Let's wait for the result peacefully. But one thing is that the result must come out. And if they manufacture any result, look at what just happened in Osun State, not taken. If the Supreme Court affirm, even if your candidate does not win now, he can go to the tribunal, place the fact, and have his mandate. And if at all at the end of the day you lose, 4 years will just be now. Who knew? Nobody knew. So one fact is that do your best, and it's either you are bringing blessing upon yourself or you are bringing a curse. So it's as simple as that. The scripture says whatever a man swear that he will reap. So if you are doing negative thing, you are pulling the cord of evil. Evil will fall on you. The Bible says, woe to him that call light darkness and darkness light. So you can't run away from it.
That's true.
So God will help all of us. Let's prepare. And at the end of the day, peacefully we can even organize ourselves in protest. The Lord did not say you cannot protest. And everyone, that's the spirit of Nigeria. And we must move it forward. And we must commend our religious leader, especially one that stood out for the right value. I think we must commend them. And also the president, good governors, senators, House of Rep, that has the fear of God.
So the fear of God is really paramount. Really appreciate you. I think people should be careful not to burn bridges that they will need after this election. Really appreciate you.
God giving us life and grace.
We appreciate